Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am Lou Mongello. You are my friend, and I am late this evening. I apologize for that if you are watching live. If you're watching on the replay, please be sure and join us every Wednesday night right here at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Turn on notifications on the WDW Radio page so you can also get notified whenever I go live, not just on Wednesday nights, but when I am out and about from the park. I see a lot of people already in the box tonight. It is so good to see you guys. I appreciate you guys being here, and I apologize again for being late. I see a lot of familiar names over the years, and I see some new names in here as well. Thanks again to all of you who joined me either here in my home in real life or here in my home this past weekend virtually for the 500th episode. I'm still getting a lot of messages from you guys and emails and physical packages in the mail over 500 episodes, and for that I am extraordinarily grateful. The show went live today. I'm sorry it took so long. Let's just say episode 500 has been a challenge since for a lot of reasons in terms of getting the actual event going, and then from a technical perspective afterwards, not just editing down a 3.5 hour live broadcast, but some issues with the recording as well. But the show must go on. It did go on, and it's live today. So if you missed us live and don't want to sit there watching for 3.5 hours, I cut it down to somewhat of a reasonable amount of time. And I also added in something new. I added, rather than doing a top 10 show, I added in some top 5s of my own. People asked me during the show and after the show, and via email and text and social media, what some of my favorite episodes are, or if they just found the show. So I gave you my top 5 interviews, my top 5 top 10s, my top 5 dining reviews, and then my overall top 5 episodes that, if you're new to the show or if you just found it, or there's maybe some shows you can go back and take a listen to. It was tough. It was like choosing a favorite child. Heather says, I listened to the whole thing at work. Do you mean to do the whole video, like with 3+ hours, or the whole thing in terms of today's show? Either way, it doesn't matter. I appreciate it. Martin Shergold, the problem that we had with the Branston Pickle food review that I didn't realize was that Skype was still active and not on Do Not Disturb. So there were constant times where the ring was coming through, and I wasn't sure if anybody wanted to hear me eat for what ended up being about 45 minutes. But I love the Branson Pickle. I appreciate the Branson Pickle, and I will actually go out and eat the Branson Pickle again, not just for purposes of the show. So I appreciate it. Tony Caggiano says, I mostly love the shows where we are stuff. I think you mean eat stuff. Ate stuff. Like you. I enjoy those shows as well because I get to eat. So Darlene Katofsky Torchiletti. Hi, Darlene. Heather was in Hollywood Studios during the live show, had to catch up. Stephen Conti, good to see you as well. Tony, sorry about the phone. You were calling my cell phone instead of the voicemail, so I had no way of patching you in. Jeremy McBriar, good to see you too, man. Long time friend of the show, so it's nice to see you here this evening. I'm going to do a relatively short show tonight. I am still catching up on a lot of stuff, have some work to do before heading out early tomorrow morning. Ricky, DJ, Technoid Reed, it is so good to see you again. I hope you are doing well, man. You've contributed to the show in so many ways, above and beyond just the friendship that you have extended to me. Marla Chan, it's always nice to see you, even when you don't have taco flavored Doritos in your hand. Rodrigo Tejado, I haven't seen you. The last time I think I saw you was with your wife before you had your baby at Hollywood Studios for a meet of the month. But I hope that you guys are doing well. Jim O, it was a busy live week. I may be live again tomorrow. I will definitely be live again on Friday, possibly very early in the morning and possibly again in the evening. I can't tell you what the morning is for, but I can tell you for the evening, I will be at Mickey's very merry, not so scary Christmas party. And it's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas here in Florida. Like today, actually broke the 70-degree mark. So I'm looking forward to the holiday decorations. I love the holiday music. I love the Christmas parade. Even the little bit of snacks and treats and the special snacks that they have for no, Katie, she didn't have a baby at Hollywood Studios. I mean, I'm sure she's brought her baby to Hollywood Studios, but didn't have it exactly there. Paul Hoffman, nice to see you as well. I was actually, I was speaking today about my lamenting that I'm, missing dumplings incredibly for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Colleen, where's the selfie? Where did we take it? I can't seem to find it on my phone. Did he take it on his phone? I will have to look back again, but I cannot seem to find this missing selfie. So shoot me a message. Let me know where we took it, and I'll keep on trying to find it again for you. So Caitlin says, what's the construction outside of Wide World of Sports for? So Caitlin, I will tell you this, that there's a lot of construction going on in and around Walt Disney World right now. Colleen, I know, was at Japan. I just don't know. I can't see whose phone it was on. There's a lot of construction going on. Some are for new resorts. Some are for the gondola system. There's also a lot of construction going on in and around the roadways. There's a lot of new flyovers being created, giving people easier access into the parks and resorts without having to sit in as much traffic or single routes. So one of those roads opened yesterday, Monday maybe, by Magic Kingdom, letting you bypass Magic Kingdom parking lot if you need to go back to the Contemporary or the Grand Floridian or the Polynesian. They're also building a flyover there as well. They're also building down by ESPN. They're going to build an off-ramp from the highway that'll let you get right over there as well. Carlos, any plans on visiting Disneyland soon? Would love to buy you lunch. You had me at lunch. Not specifically. I know I will have a trip to Disneyland soon. I just don't know exactly when it's going to be. Christine Tildesley Morrison, always nice to see you here as well. Carolyn Norton, I forgot I wanted to change into my I have a new Spider-Man shirt. I wanted to change into it, and I was already 10 minutes late, so it never happened. Dennis Keithley, yeah, man, it has been a while since I've seen your name in here. It is nice to see you as well. A lot of familiar names and a few names I haven't seen at a while. Jeff says, I heard a Fifth Gate rumbling recently. Unless they've got East Coast Marvel rights coming back, it doesn't make sense to me. My thoughts, Jeff, I will tell you that I am a betting man, so I will bet dollars to donuts that there are no plans for a Fifth Gate anytime soon. Right now, the investment of resources is going into the existing parks. And what I mean by that is you're going to see beyond the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Mission Space Restaurant and the Ratatouille attraction, you are going to see announcements of further development and changes and expansion in Epcot. I believe you're going to see it in Tomorrowland and Magic Kingdom. Obviously, we know what's happening over at Disney's Hollywood Studios. There's still more coming beyond Toy Story and Star Wars that has not been announced yet. And Disney's Animal Kingdom is not done. I will tell you that I believe that Pandora is not finished. So those are going to be expanded on first before they even think about a Fifth Gate. I will tell you that Disney, their plans right now are not for the next 3 to 5 years, but they have plans already in motion. The planes are already in flight for things that are on the board for the next 7 to 10 to 12 years going down. There is a lot of attention that is going to be paid to Walt Disney World. A lot of things that they have not announced for a variety of reasons. Some things that I think are going to be surprising and shocking and exciting, but it's going to take a little bit of time before you see those. And I think that Walt Disney World is going to be a marvelous place someday soon. And I'll just leave it at that. Dave Rashoni, nice to see you, brother. Congratulations on your Facebook Live last night. You and your beautiful wife, it was so lovely to watch you guys performing in your home studio. So thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you also for the help that you gave to Danny with the a cappella version of the WDW Radio theme song that you wrote. Has it been 10 years? Was it from that very first? Was it what? When did the theme song debut? Was it that very first year? Jimmy Styles, my thoughts on Thor. I'm going to save it for an upcoming episode, but I will tell you this. I really enjoyed it. I laughed. I almost cried, but I laughed a lot more. But I laughed in a way. Look, I thought Guardians 2 was maybe leaning a little bit too much on the humor, especially sort of, I think, bringing the humor down a little bit. And when I say down, I mean down in terms of age range, because obviously Guardians of the Galaxy's demographic skews to a much younger age. So I found a lot of the humor was, not that it was gratuitous, but there was a lot of it, and I thought it was sort of scaled down for a younger audience. I enjoyed it, but not as much as Guardians 1. I thought there was a lot of humor in Thor 2, but it was not as... It played well with the story. I heard a lot of people say that Thor Ragnarok was like their second favorite Marvel movie. I think you put it... Where'd you put it, Jim? You put it in your top 5 somewhere. I did not put it in my top 5. I don't put Ragnarok in my top 5. And I will share what my top 5, maybe even, dare I say, my top 10 Marvel movies are at some point in the near future. So, Tim Jones, speaking of people I haven't seen in a long time, Tim Jones, hope you are doing well. Jess Rob McElroy, hello from Mississippi, and hello, John, as well. Jimmy had it at 5 or 6. I've heard some people saying they had it at 2, 3. It's not that high for me. And I'm actually, I need to go back and watch Spider-Man Homecoming again. I got it the day it came out, and I haven't seen it again because I've just been so busy. So I can really figure out where I want to rank Homecoming. Michael Fenton says, I've never seen a Marvel movie. Where do I begin? Michael, I think you need to start with Iron Man. I think you need to start with Iron Man 1. There's some people who have put out lists sort of showing where the order of, I think it should be Iron Man. I think it should be Captain America and Winter Soldier. You could certainly watch Iron Man 2. I would certainly start with the Iron Man, Captain, and Thor, and then move on to Avengers. I'd have to sort of figure out where Avengers, then I'd have to sort of write these down and figure out. But it might have to be Avengers, Ultron, Civil War, Homecoming. Ragnarok is your favorite of the Thor movies. I like the first one, and then Ragnarok, and then Dark World, which obviously is a much, obviously, darker. Paul Reddick, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you, man. Darlene Nagy from Western New York says Spider-Man Homecoming was something, and I missed the rest of it. Let me see if I can see this here as these are coming in here. Heather Joel Laredo, nice to see you as well. Thor was so funny, cool, funny, Brill. Again, I agree that it was very funny, but not in so much of a way that I felt Guardians 2 was almost a little bit too much. But I need to go back and see it. I need to go back and see it again. So, let's see. I have 2 chat windows open here, so I'm trying to make sure I catch all of the comments as they are coming in. I listened to your Pandora podcast 3 times. Love it for going for the first time on Flight of Passage on an upcoming trip, November 23rd. So, Stephanie, I would love to know what you think of Flight of Passage and see if you have that same type of feeling about it as we did. And I don't know why this is not scrolling through. Debbie Butmy, nice to see you as well. You should probably just watch them in the order that they came out. It's easiest to follow. You certainly can do that. Although I think that you can batch Iron Man 1, 2, and 3 and probably cap 1 and 2. Thor's hilarious. Think the Thor writers saw Ghostbusters and realized Chris Hemsworth can handle comedy. Listen, Chris Hemsworth can handle anything. He is a very talented, very handsome actor, and I liked him a lot. And I thought Hela was brilliant. I thought she was wonderful in that, and certainly, God, I forgot his name. The Rock guy, the Rock dude. He stole the show. So John Delaney says, I liked Flight of Passage, a long way from a favorite ride, but then I've also spent a lot of hours in balloons. I think look, you know my feelings about Flight of Passage. If I had to, and maybe this is a show I need to do, a top 10 Disney attractions worldwide. Although I haven't seen France yet, so that would be tough for me to do. I think I really need to see France before am able to give my opinion. But from the attractions that I've seen, Flight of Passage is up there with Mystic Manor. It's up there with Pirates in Shanghai. It's up there. I'm not sure if Tron makes that top 5 list. I'd have to really think about that. I'd have to really think about where that says. Kate Blanchett, seemed to be having a blast. I thought she was excellent. I think she made a great villain. And who knows, maybe we haven't seen the last of her yet. We'll see. Hang on, I have to put these goggles on here so I can see. Let me go back here. Is there a top 10 Walt Disney World attractions? I don't know if we've ever actually done that, Judy. I don't know if I've done a top 10 Walt Disney World attraction show. I have to go back and look at the Matrix to see if it's there. When's the Tokyo show coming? Because of scheduling issues, we have not had a chance to record it as yet. I'm hoping to record it in the next week or so. Hopefully I'll get back onto some sort of a schedule. Let's see. Hopefully I'll be able to get on. You see, I'm so tired. I can't even speak straight. So, must be nice to be able to do that show. What show? Oh, the top 10 attractions worldwide? Listen, you have to do it now. And Jimmy, now that you're a Disney podcaster, you have to start doing that kind of research as well. John Jones says, I am Iron Man. You could be Iron Man. Ron Seco says, good evening from Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. Nice to see you as well. Let's see. Would anyone argue that Haunted Mansion would be hands down number 1? Michael Ross, are you talking in Walt Disney World only? I don't know if it's hands down. Hands down is very definitive. I think in some other parks, you can say, I think in Hong Kong, Mystic Manor is hands down number 1. I'm not sure you could do that in Walt Disney World because of the 4 parks, because of how many attractions there are. But we'll see. Eileen says, I do look exhausted. Thank you. I am a little exhausted. Tonight. So, Jessra, I'll be in Magic Kingdom on Friday for the Christmas party, but I will not be back again this weekend. I've got some family stuff and some personal stuff going on. So, Chris Natalini, my favorite food from Food and Wine this year. I didn't unfortunately get a chance to experience everything, and I was a little disappointed that I didn't get a chance to go back, just again because of travel. But I will tell you, I loved, and maybe because I'm still in Asia mode, I love the wasabi dumplings. Man, Garden Grease tape is exhausting. The wasabi dumplings in Japan were one of my favorites. I also like the duck bao bun in China, and I really liked I have to remember. I wish I had my book in front of me. On a sweet side, I love the almond banana sundae thing. And the almond, that was really, really good. I also had the cheeseburger sandwich. That was okay. It was heavy. The duck bao bun was so good. Chris, the dumplings, I could eat those dumplings all day, every day. Wasabi dumplings were the best. And Jessra, I'm sorry that I'll miss you guys this weekend. So, empanadas were mess, says Grimly Grunt. I didn't get a chance to try the empanadas this year. I will say that what I noticed from my visits, even during the week, and not just on weekends, was Food and Wine was very, very crowded this year. And I saw pictures from the last weekend, and it was crazy. Jonathan Mack says, where should we eat at Disney on Thanksgiving Day? So the easy answer is something like Liberty Tree Tavern. But I would also look at some of the Disney Springs restaurants. You know I was going to go there. Because they have some interesting things. So Morimoto Asia actually has a Thanksgiving Peking duck or Peking turkey. I think they're doing Peking turkey for Thanksgiving. I want to say Blue Zoo and Shula's over at the Swan and Dolphin have something special going on too. But if it was me going for Thanksgiving, I'd go to Boathouse. So who am I kidding? But if I was not going, if Boathouse wasn't one of the options, I would get, instead of turkey, I'd get fried chicken at homecoming. So Joe wanted to try the Schaffenhofer pomegranate beer. I didn't try that as well. Not really a big drinker, so as you can see, as I'm downing my water. Chris Bennis, whether late or not, it's nice to see you as well. Unless it was a one-man production, there's probably other grease tapes out there. I don't believe there are. Unfortunately, I've been able to keep a secret where I went to school, so you don't know even where the performance took place. So, listen, I think the buildup of the grease tape is much better than anything that you would actually see in the grease tape. So I think you got to just let it go because it's the excitement is just wondering what's on the tape. But if you'd see it, it'd be like, meh, that's it. That's all he did. He was so-and-so. BD school dropout. No graduation day for you. That may or may not be a hint. Bill Daniels says, Cape May Cafe, turkey and crab legs. I dig it. Carmen Schuler is going to be there December 21st to the 27th at Fort Wilderness. Will I be there? I don't know if I'm going to be there during that time. It's a little busy. But I will tell you that as we get closer to December, I'm going to do a live Wednesday night show from Fort Wilderness. I do it every year. I get a golf cart, and we just sort of tool around going to look at all of the holiday displays. It is like its own little Christmas village there, and one of my favorite things to do in Walt Disney World during the holiday season. What's the strangest place I have been? I just missed it. Where it's the strangest place I've been recognized by a WDW Radio listener. So I don't even like the word recognized. I met a friend who is a listener. A new friend who's a listener on planes in a men's room. Awkward. There's been times I've been, the most interesting place was I was in Tokyo. I haven't told the story yet, so I'll spoil it now. I was in Tokyo. I was in Disney Sea, and I was walking through doing the Leonardo Challenge, which I'll tell more about it. And I'm standing on this giant sort of pirate galleon overlooking the lagoon. And there's two girls dressed up. One is Ursula, and I don't remember who the other one was. And she turns around, and she's looking at me. And I thought I was like in her way, or she wanted me to take a picture, or there was some sort of a language barrier. And she looks at me, and she's like, in very, very broken English, and I'm not trying to be, in very broken English, she's like, Lou? And I was like, what'd you say? And she goes, and I couldn't understand it the first time. And she's like, are you Lou? And I'm like, and I looked down at my shirt to make sure I didn't have like a name badge or something on. And I'm like, I am. And very long story longer, we worked through some of the language issues. And she recognized me from a Japanese TV show that I shot here probably 5 or 6 years ago. And it was crazy. And she pulled up her phone and she had the podcast on there. She had me on Twitter and Instagram. And we worked past any of the language issues and instantly bonded. And that was so completely unexpected and so completely random. But there was 2 other people that I met in Tokyo who had known the show, who had known me from the show. So, Chef Bob, it is good to see you, my friend. I'm coming in on Saturday. It's my daughter's birthday, and where do you think she wants to go for her birthday? Cue the music. She wants to go to the Boathouse, so I have to call up and make a reservation so we can come in on Saturday, and hopefully you'll be there and see you. So Alexander Kelly, that's exactly what it was. It was sort of, and I wasn't sure if she was asking me if I was Lou, if I was something else, but it was. So Katie remembers that I had forgotten about it. years ago, I was contacted by a producer who was on the U.S. side of a Japanese TV show, and they brought in this sort of Japanese celebrity, and he and I went to all 4 parks and the water parks, and we rode like Crush and Gusher and stuff together. I was the only guy that spoke English except for her, but we made it work, and it was funny. And maybe one of these, I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I have video from the I have video from the show, and it was very interesting. So Amanda's checking it online for her first Disney cruise. Is dinner at Remy a must? Amanda, look in my eyes. Hear the words that are coming out of my mouth. You must do Remy. I will tell you that Remy was one of the finest meals I've had, not just on a Disney Cruise Line ship, not just on a Disney World, not just in a Walt Disney World or Disneyland property, but one of the most remarkable meals I've had anywhere. And if you could do the wine pairing, even better. So there you go. Palo brunch, John and Kristen Earl. I prefer Palo brunch over Palo dinner. Jesse Fouts, thank you so much. Somebody says, Marion, I need my glass back. I know none of what you speak. Shannon King, I know you in email. I am so far behind. Please be patient with me. You're bringing a group of 13 to Epcot this weekend. Should we get a lunch reservation or go to counter service? Now that Food and Wine's over, the crowds are going to diminish a little bit. I think it really depends on your group, Ryan. You know, are they ones that are willing to try and wing it and potentially wait? If you do counter service, you know my heart is in places like Katsura Grill, Tangerine Cafe, if they want to be a little bit adventurous. Sunshine Seasons is an easy one because there's a lot of stuff to choose from. It's inside. There's plenty of seasoning. There's plenty of seasoning too. There's also plenty of seating as well. Those would be sort of my immediate go-to top 3 counter services. Where else would I go counter service wise? I would also do La Hacienda in Mexico if they don't mind, Mexican food. So Apollo brunch is amazing. Tony Caggiano, listen, man. And I think for future cruises, I'm just going to start handing out stretchy pants to everybody because I think you sort of need them. Let's see. Let me catch up here. Jess Rosso, you saw the Epcot science thing. I would love to type out for me what your feelings are on it, how young your children or child is, and what your thoughts were on that, because it's a show that I think definitely skews towards a younger demographic. Tara, I think Teppanyaki Edo is not surprisingly good. I think it's just good because I just love Japanese food. Is there a meat of the month Thanksgiving week? Jonathan, unfortunately not. The next meat of the month is going to be in December. I don't know exactly when. And Sam Kelly Albrecht is Aqueduct bound in T-4 days. Are you doing Dream or are you doing which ship are you doing? I was looking at the picture that I posted today. If you go to my Facebook, you'll see the picture from the cruise that we did 5 years ago. And after going on the Magic last week, which, listen, I don't know if I said this, the second best reason to go on the Disney Magic is the Beauty and the Beast show. I kid you not. The first reason is obviously the food, then the other cruise stuff too. That Beauty and the Beast show is on another level from any of the shows that you've seen on the cruise line. It's Broadway quality, and I will tell you that the staging effects on that show, not only do you forget that you're on a ship, but they do something that I have never seen on a theatrical production before. And look, I have been on the opposite side of the curtain. I was actually a theater major. I did a lot of drama when I was in high school and college. The staging and the production of that show, it made me imagine what it must look like backstage and the organized chaos of scene changes and costume changes, because there's so much going on. It is remarkable. It is beautiful. It's moving. I literally want to go on even a short Magic cruise just so I can show my family what it's like, and so I can go eat at Cabanas again. Am I doing any special events on Thanksgiving? No. Steven Schwartzrock, it is incredible. It is incredible. And if you watch the live broadcast, I was going to post some, they gave us some B-roll. It does not do that show justice. It does not do it justice. I saw the Frozen show. I thought it was really good. There's nothing like Beauty and the Beast. And they sprinkle in just enough of, I don't want to say modernization of it, but they sprinkle in just enough to make the show not feel old. I don't know if that's coming across properly. I don't want to say too much, and I don't just mean in terms of special effects, but I mean in terms of choreography, costuming. There's a lot of things. Is it better than Golden Mickey and Villains Tonight? Not even close. It blows those two shows away. I really don't go see Golden Mickeys anymore. Villains Tonight I like. There's nothing. Beauty and the Beast sets a whole new standard for theatrical productions on the Disney Cruise Line, without a doubt. Tracy Goggin, I will be at Marathon Weekend. I won't be running, but I will be cheering, and I will look out for you guys as you are on the course. I did talk about Thor. I loved it. It's not a top 5 Marvel movie for me, although I do want to see it again. I'll put it this way. I want to see it again because I enjoyed it. I don't feel like I need to see it again like I did some of the other Marvel movies. So, Chris Edwards, in terms of the Edison and Disney Springs, I have heard January 1st. I'm hoping that's not true because trying to open a new restaurant on New Year's Day sounds like a recipe for disaster. You need to open up on like a Monday when it's somewhat quiet, get sort of the flow going. I've been in the restaurant business before. You've got new servers, new menu, new staff, new guests, new everything. There's a lot of moving parts. And look, I will never, ever review a restaurant on opening day, opening week, or opening 2 weeks because it's not fair to the staff. There's a lot of things that have to get worked out and kinks that have to get ironed out, and trying to review it on a Saturday night. And people did this at Paddlefish, and I was really disappointed when I saw that. They had media previews and things like that, and then I think they mistakenly opened on a Saturday night. They went back on that Saturday night. The service was slow. The food was cold. Things weren't coming out right. Why? Because you opened on a Saturday night. You opened a 700, 800 seat restaurant on a Saturday night. It's not fair to review it that way. And I will never, ever do that. I will never do that to the staff. I will never do that to the restaurant because you cannot, it's not a good barometer of what your experience is going to be like. So, should Boathouse sell dumplings in a cone? No. Boathouse should stay exactly the way it is. Although they did just add lobster mac and cheese with huge chunks. I might have it on Saturday. Huge chunks of lobster. It's incredible. It is incredible. So, let's see. Why don't I know about the Edison? The Edison is opening in Disney Springs. It's opening right next to where Characters in Flight is, by that across from STK. So where that sort of little overpass is. There's been some changes because now it's going to be, in addition, it was supposed to be multiple venues, multiple establishments in that one venue. It was going to be the Edison. It was also going to be a restaurant called Waltz. They've since changed that to Enzo's Speakeasy, and I think Enzo's and Maria's is the restaurant. I don't know why that's changed. Waltz was on the drawing board for years. Like I saw concept art from Disney Springs from a few years ago, and Waltz was on there from the very beginning. I don't know if that was just meant to be a placeholder or something better came along, but I don't know what the opening date for the Enzo's restaurant is. I'm hoping for their own sake that the Edison doesn't open until maybe a week after the Thanksgiving, the Christmas and New Year's holiday is over. I think that's in everybody's best interest for them to do that. So, is there anything I don't like at Boathouse? Talk amongst yourselves. Anything I don't like at Boathouse? You know, I've always ordered things that I know I enjoy, or if they've ever brought something out to let me try. I'm not a picky eater. There's not a lot that I don't like. I'm not crazy about olives. That's about it. So, look, the food is excellent, both the seafood, and it's a Gibson Steakhouse, so I can't say anything bad about it because I haven't had food there that I don't enjoy. There are other restaurants in Walt Disney World whose food is meh at best, and I've either not reviewed it or I'll find things on the menu that I like, but Boathouse is a big winner for me. So you don't appear to enjoy the soft shell crab. Not one bit. I almost ate my soft shell crab and everybody else's. I hope they have soft shell crab on Saturday. I have to call and make a reservation. I hope they have I think I'm going to get soft shell crab and tuna, and I have to save room for the blueberry crumble dessert. And I'm not a dessert guy, but man, that's good. Anthony Amarino, the Boathouse is worth that. It's worth the long drive from my house. So I don't enjoy diet food. I'm with you. John and Kristen Earl, Boathouse is planned for post-marathon in January. Tell them Lou sent you. And I'm actually not really kidding at all. Speaking of Lou sent you, I don't know if I showed you guys this. Let's see if I can find it, if I can pull it up here. I had some computer issues right before we went live, as because there's a new, first of all, if you go to the WDW Radio shop, so if you go to www.radio.com/logo shop, all of the t-shirts right now are on sale. They're all just $14. And I think that runs only until the end of the day, but there's actually a new shirt. Whoops. There is a new shirt that was just added to the store, and that's the I'm just here for the food. And I just put it just says WDW Radio tiny in the bottom, but pretty much that's the shirt that I need to wear whenever I go to a restaurant in Walt Disney World, because that really is the reason why I'm there. So it's only $14. The same thing with all the other shirts, including the Lou Sent Me shirts, the 10-year anniversary shirts, cruise shirts, the not so ugly WDW Radio Christmas sweater is you can get it in long sleeve or short sleeve, and then I've also curated a number of other designs that you can check out there as well. If you were here in my house this weekend and saw the broadcast live, you see just how many windows and computers I have going all at the same time. I need a Stretchy Pants shirt. We need a Stretchy Pants logo. Oh, speaking of which, thank you for the reminder. Speaking of shirts and logos, a lot of the shirts you see on there are winners of logo contests that we've done. The Lou Sent Me logo contest, the Cruise logo contest. I have another and actually very important logo contest that I want to announce to you guys. If you know me, if you've listened to the show, if you listen to Show 500, you know that the most important part of what I do is the money that we raise for the Dream Team Project, which benefits the Make-A-Wish Foundation of America. Years ago, we came up with a very simple logo before the Dream Team sort of became what it is. This is sort of you see sort of the Dream Team Project on the bottom. A friend of ours made that logo and then made this little banner image that we were using on the site. But it's time, for a variety of reasons, that we update it. It's time that we update our Dream Team Project logo. And so what we're going to do, maybe we'll run it for the next 2 weeks since the Thanksgiving break is coming up, is I want you to create a new Dream Team Project logo for shirts, for branding, for other things that we're going to do. John Hand, I love that. A Momentum graduate shirt. You've got to make up one of those too. Send me an email. It's a really good idea. But right now we need to do a new logo for the Dream Team Project. The only parameters is it needs to say the Dream Team Project on it and have the WDW Radio logo incorporated in there. If you need a copy of the WDW Radio logo, I can get that to you. Just shoot me an email or a Facebook message. And if you win, what we'll do is I'll I'll choose some of the entries. We'll have people vote on it. And once again, I will give away a mystery box of prizes to the winner. And I will tell you that in that closet back there, I still have some prizes from Asia. So you might get something from China and or Japan. So please don't use my face this time. It was funny, but a little bit creepy for me to see my face on a t-shirt. And trust me, ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody wants to see my face. Todd Williams, I hope we're talking New York Giants football. I hope that the Giants lose the rest of their games. They fire him this week, make Steve Spagnuolo the coach, and put some of the second and third stringers in there. See what they can do. Let them have fun, man. I think they should just be throwing like Hail Marys and flea flickers and end arounds and Statues of Liberties. Like, just make it fun. Just make it fun. So, Shane Reed, is it difficult to be considered for Make-A-Wish? My son has epilepsy and autism. I'm a retired vet. So expensive, but he deserves to go. Shane, the best thing that you can do is contact your local chapter of Make-A-Wish. Explain to them what your child's condition is. They have a process that they go through to decide who gets wishes granted. We don't make that decision, thankfully, because I would never be able to choose. But what we do is we raise money and then we sponsor individual wishes. We're going to be I've met with the people from Make-A-Wish. I went out to Phoenix. I spoke at the conference, and then a Make-A-Wish rep was actually at the meet of the month last week, or 2 weeks ago, sorry. We talked about some things we're going to be doing going forward for Make-A-Wish. And if you go to dreamteamproject.org, you'll already see some changes on the Make-A-Wish side. For the donation page. We're going to do some things to not only sponsor more wishes, but meet more families and really make more of a difference in those lives. So, Brian, what's my favorite podcast other than mine? I really don't have. So I said on the show this week, I don't listen to any other Disney podcasts. I explained why in the show. Usually what I listen to are business-related podcasts, but I'm not in my car very often. And when I work, 95% of my time I'm sitting here at my desk. I actually work in complete silence. I don't like any distractions in the background when I'm working. So the few minutes that I spend in my car during the week, picking up my kids or going wherever, I'll listen to business podcasts. I've known Gary Vaynerchuk for years. Before I knew him when he was, still working at Wine Library. It was just getting started on the speaking before any of his books came out. We actually lived and went to school just a couple of miles from each other in Edison, New Jersey. So I still listen to Gary's stuff. I still like him. I like his hustle, for lack of a better word. So if I do turn on a podcast, it's going to be that. My friend Lauren Gaggioli does a show called The Unsexy Side, which you should definitely check out. And there's really not a lot. So Victoria, I'm actually going to the Christmas party on Friday. I'll probably be live from there. I'll probably record a show about some stuff that you can do this year for Christmas. I did go and see at Disney Springs the Christmas tree trail, which I really liked. I enjoy the Christmas tree trail. I enjoy the holiday music that's out there. Hollywood Studios, I really like the projection show on Tower of Terror. Like, I wouldn't make a special trip there to see it, but I would. If I was going to Hollywood Studios now, I would go there probably, I would have lunch somewhere, and then I'd go to the studios, hit some of the attractions. I'd watch the Tower show at night, and then I would go watch Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam, because it's really, really good this year. They just, they made a couple of changes to it, and I really like what they did. And it's a really, really fun show, and it's worth going to see. So, yeah, do not listen to Gary Vee around the kids. It's definitely, he's a little bit more potty mouth than I am. And by that, I mean he's on the opposite side of the potty mouth spectrum. So, let's see. Kristen Renee, it's nice to see you as well. Shane Reed, I appreciate what you do. Contact Make-A-Wish. Hey, if there's anything I could ever do or any other questions that you have, not that I could do anything, but please feel free to reach out to me and let me know. So, is the ride still operational while the projection show is going on? Carly, yes, I believe it is. Best snack at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Lori, I'm actually going on Friday. I know they have some new snacks this year, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they have this year. So John Delancey has heard me cuss once. I did? I cussed in front of John Delancey? But was I just saying something was I using a little bit of potty mouth just for emphasis, or did I just let it slip? Sorry, either way. Iggy Torres, it's good to see you, my friend. Saw for Star Wars Galactic Nights that are expanding Star Wars projections to Tower of Terror. I believe that is true. I'm actually going Friday. Well, that's spoiler alert. Friday morning, I'm probably going to be live from Disney's Hollywood Studios because I'm going to see some of the updates to Star Tours and some other things that they have going on. Shannon King, I feel so bad. I'm so far behind. I know I owe you an email. I promise you I'll get to it this week so that we can do the exchange thing and get that going. I was quoting Julie Diley. Yeah, she's got the potty mouth. Dan Braunstein, good to see you. The best thing to eat in Pandora is you go to Satuli Canteen, you make your own bowl. I like the quinoa, and I like the chicken a lot. I can't remember which of the sauces that I liked. Believe it or not, even the fried tofu it's light and it's really good. You wouldn't even know that it's tofu. Watching from cold Chicago. Oh, you got to get back here, man. Today was a glorious day in Florida. Like, this is the kind of weather people move to Florida for. Going to Disneyland in February. I've been listening to the podcast to get a Disneyland podcast to get ideas of places to eat. We haven't been in a few years. Chimichanga. I would get a chimichanga. I would certainly go to the Cozy Cone at least 3 times. And what else would be a favorite place in Disneyland? You know, I like a lot of the counter service stuff in Disneyland. So, did I see Mark Hamill show up in Disneyland? That was awesome. And he just seems like he's a good guy. Darlene, I have not done the redesigned Flying Fish, and I think what I need to do is find some members of the WDW Radio Nation who want to go with me to do a live dining review at Flying Fish, because for a long time, before I moved down here, Flying Fish was far and away my favorite restaurant on property. Again, this is pre-Disney Springs. This is pre-Boathouse. So it's all relative. But I used to love Flying Fish Cafe. So I want to go back and try it again. Tim Cochran, welcome. It is good to see you. Todd Williams, corn dogs in Disneyland, but only if you get them from the Little Red Wagon on Main Street. They just, for some reason, taste better on Main Street than they do anywhere else. So, chicken bowl with hash and sriracha. Dave Coviello, I like the sound of that. I like how you roll. Let's see. Nikki Keller, nice to see you. Anybody know if you can mobile order with the quick service dining plan? I don't know the answer to that definitively, so I don't want to tell you. Cindy Mode Steppen says, we tried Flying Fish a few weeks ago. Really enjoyed it. It was so nice to see you and your entire family at the meet of the month a couple of weeks ago. Stan, I have never done Walking in Walt's Footsteps tour. You booked it for next month. Let me know how it is. I did Backstage Magic yesterday for the first time in probably about 12 years. They've made some tweaks to that. That's a 7.5 hour tour. Takes you backstage in Epcot, and it also takes you to Central Shops. It takes you to the Utilidors. It also takes you to a few other places. I don't want to spoil too much of it. Some things have changed since the last time I've gone, but it was really interesting to be taking a guided tour as opposed to giving a guided tour, because for so many years I was giving personal tours in the parks to small groups. Tony, I think the minimum age for Backstage Magic is, I want to say 16, because you go to the Utilidors. It might be 13. You got to double check. I'm not 100% sure. The Maelstrom Polar Bear was cool. Tony, you also, because you go into places like Central Shops and some backstage areas, I think that's why the age limit might be a little bit higher. So, but it was interesting being given a tour as opposed to giving the tour. And again, what I did was very different than Backstage Magic. I didn't take people backstage. I gave sort of a walking tour of the Magic Kingdom in terms of history, details, stories. This is very, very different. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And I would, if you are it doesn't spoil the magic. Even going to the Utilidors, it doesn't spoil it for you. I think it gives you an appreciation, especially when you see like the War Wagon, which I don't know if they call it that anymore. It used to be called the War Wagon, backstage at American Adventure. It's incredibly impressive. Going into Central Shops is awesome. Going into some of the locations that you would not only get a chance to see, I think really gives you. So, for example, you go into the textile services building and you see how the laundry is done. And you're like, if I want to see how laundry is done, I just go downstairs. When you see it on a scale and the well-oiled machine that it's amazing how they do it, and how they do it so well and how they turn it around. So I highly recommend it. If you've never done it before, I don't really do my tours as much anymore just because of time constraints. My schedule just doesn't afford me the flexibility. I do it sometimes if I'm able to line up my schedule, but I don't do groups of 30. I limit my group to 4, 5, 6 people because I make it very personal. I want it to be very intimate. I don't sort of follow a set script or anything. I really sort of go based on the interests and the personality of the people in the group. It's one of the most enjoyable things that I have done because unlike the podcast where I'm pushing out content, being able to do it in an interactive kind of way is what I love so very much, which is why I was really doing it, because I wasn't able to do that same thing via the audio tours themselves. So Jason's going to be there December 16th to the 22nd, chance of a quick meetup. I don't know my schedule, man, but shoot me a message on Facebook or an email, and if we could make it happen, I will certainly do the best that I can to connect with you. So Amanda loved Keys to the Kingdom. So Keys to the Kingdom is what? That's a 4.5 hour tour in Magic Kingdom. I have to do that one again. I haven't done that in a long time. Did they drop the minimum backstage one? Said it was 16. So Tim, I said 16 first. I believe it's still 16 because of where you go. But I would just double check on. Go to the official Disney site. Don't go to any fan sites because it does change from time to time. Mike Beckman, what's going on, brother? Good to see you as well. We did the tour. There was no disappointment or sadness. We didn't see characters, if that's what you're worried about. We did. We just happened to, and it's hit or miss. But I think it's not, even if they allowed 10-year-olds on there, I wouldn't take my 10-year-old on it because I wouldn't want to spoil and take away some of that childlike innocence that they have about it. So, but if and when you do it, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. So yeah, Keys to the Kingdom's 4 hours. I will say, Backstage Magic is a long day. 7.5 hours is a long day. You do go for lunch at Whispering Canyon. I was put in jail for some reason when I was there. The picture and the story are on my Facebook. But that was one of my favorite parts, was lunch at Whispering Canyon, because unlimited meat skillets. So, all right, it's 8:38. Paul, when I did Backstage Magic, we did not get to see the Central Shops, only the Utilidor and Backstage with the topiaries. So, Paul, we did go into Central. We spent a lot of time in Central Shops, but there was an entire section that had floor-to-ceiling black drapes with a second set of black drapes in front of them that were rope-tied and chained off, so there was no way to look inside, which makes me think there was something Star Wars-y or Toy Story-ish in there, or some sort of new super-secret project for that other thing that I think is coming that they haven't announced yet. So we will see. We'll see. Martin Shergill, my friend, I love you, brother. I appreciate you, man, and have a good night. And thank you again for the Branson pickle. So, new nice lunch in Keys to the Kingdom was at Tomorrowland Terrace. Oh, usually it used to be at Columbia Harbor House in sort of the private area upstairs. Grand Floridian Cafe Lobster. I still haven't done my top 5 burgers at Walt Disney World. I got to get back in the parks and start doing some more videos again. But all right, it's 8:39. I actually have a ton of work I need to get finished tonight. I need to get some semblance of sleep at some point as well. So we can do some rapid fire Ask Me Anything, or if you want, I don't even know where I put it. I don't know. I had to clean up my house because I had people over for the 500 show, and I don't know where I put my mystery box of prizes. All right, so why don't we do this? Why don't we do rapid fire? Ask me anything. I will hit as many as I can, as quick as I can for the next 5 minutes, and we'll get out of here at 8:45. So you can have the rest of your night with your loved ones, and by loved ones, if that's Netflix, that's awesome, because that's exactly what I would do if I had the time. Backstage Lounge Tour with Becky. Who would pay to do that? I would pay to do. Oh, you mean who would pay? Oh, I see. Becky would. Yeah. Paul Hoffman, have a good night. Good to see you as well. Live show from the parks, Jerry, possibly on Friday, definitely on Friday, possibly in the morning, and definitely in the evening. Alexandra, I really don't do personal tours as much in the Magic Kingdom just because of my schedule. Doesn't afford me time. There are some occasions that I have done it, but it's more rare than common. Veronica Suhada, my favorite princess. I'm torn. I'm torn between Belle and Jasmine for different reasons. But if you're asking me, like, the princess, if I had to marry her, it would be Belle. And I have a newfound love. This is not meant to be creepy. After seeing the show on the Disney Dream, I have a newfound love of Belle. So, am I going to see Justice League tomorrow night? Absolutely not. I have no desire, and I watched Suicide Squad and was not love it. I will not talk to you about Greece. Will I be in a park Friday night? Yes, I will be in Magic Kingdom for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Jamie Wright, nice to see you as well. Stephen Schmitz, first timer to the Boathouse. What should you get? Everything. I would check the specials menu first. If they have the seafood tarragon, it is stupid good. I would also get some tuna or some of the raw bar stuff as an appetizer. If you're a steak person, it's a Gibson Steakhouse. Check that out. And without a doubt, tell them Lou sent you and get the blueberry crumble cheesecake for dessert. Christmas party or Halloween party, which one? Man, I love the parade at the Halloween party. I love Halloween. I love trick-or-treating. I might say Christmas, though, because I'm excited. You cannot do any no photography in Backstage Magic at all. No photography at all anywhere that you're backstage. Dinner splurge idea for trip. Kids, Japan, entertaining for them or geared more for adults? No, I think the kids, depending how old your kids are, I think they would like Tep and Edo. I think it's neat. And look, I still I still enjoy it. My favorite Disney character, again, there's honorable mentions, but Peter Pan. Advice for planning a solo visit to Walt Disney World. The wife has given me the go-ahead. Listen to, there is a top 10 reasons to visit Walt Disney World solo show. It's in the 400s somewhere. John Fulton says seafood tarragon was spectacular, right? Right, you can only take pictures in one place on the tour. They take pictures for you, but you can only take pictures in places that you are on stage. There's no backstage pictures at all. Let me see. I'm catching up here. What is somebody printing? Oh, Lord. Where do I get my shelves to hold all my stuff? These are the IKEA special. Where's my eagle? Come on, man. Phil, I hope you're feeling better, man. I saw your post this morning. Like, my sincere, you need a good break, man. You need a good break. So, Kristen Fisher Constance says, "You're so fly, Lou." Is that like an easy "you're so fly I never land" joke? Did Keys to the Kingdom once worth the price? I agree. I have not. The new burger place in Disney Springs. Do you mean Deluxe Burger? I have not. I've eaten there 3 times, which shows you that I enjoy it, but I have not done a live review. If we can't talk about Greece, can we talk about Hello Dolly? Look at you remembering Hello Dolly. We can't. Nick Chappelle, I am hoping to find out on Friday if the drone show is going to be coming back. If I had to pick Polite Pig, Deluxe Burger, or Blaze, I'll take Deluxe Burger out of that equation. Man, Polite Pig is a meat lover's dream, but I think Blaze is one of my favorite places around here to get pizza. So, I'm not sure if that helps you at all. Are there any counter service restaurants in the parks that serve sushi? Maverick Eckstein? Yes. Katsura Grill in Japan does it. You can also get it, not all the time, but at There's a walk-up at Kona Cafe, the little counter service by the monorail doors. Up, you can go and get sushi from there as well. I have not been to STK other than the media event as yet. Space Mountain or Thunder Mountain? Thunder Mountain. Am I going live during Very Merry? Yes, that's the plan. Friday night. Favorite Walt Disney biography, book, television, or special? I liked the PBS special that they had last year, 2 years ago. Gosh, I can't remember what the name is. But I know you can buy it on DVD now. Or I think you might even be able to stream it from PBS. But just and I moderated a discussion about it too. Forgive me that I can't remember, but I think it was last year. So, Jerry Joseph Falcos, have a good night. Have a great run as well. Bill Swan tried plate pig. Really enjoyed it. The brisket, yeah, I like the brisket sandwich. I'm with you. California Grill does have amazing sushi, but I think she was asking about walk-ups in terms of places that you can get a walk-up. Jesse McCullough, good to see you, brother. Buzz Lightyear or Woody? Woody. I think Woody's a good guy. He's got a good heart. Leah Harvey said the PBS special is so good. I agree. I think they really did a wonderful job. Was it 2015? Was it 2 years ago? God, don't get old. Best Resort Quick Service. Best Resort Quick Service. I'm quickly going through in my head. I like Captain Cook's. Oh, man. I'm going literally through like every resort in my head, and I don't know why I keep going back to Captain Cook's at the Polynesian for the food, the atmosphere, the location. So I'll stick with that because I can't think of anything else, and now I'm hungry. Mania or Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin? Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin because I can get a better score there every time. Did I do Flights of Passage? Yes, and I think Flights of Passage is a remarkable attraction, arguably the best one at Walt Disney World. The American Experience. Thank you, Leah. The American Experience. Geyser Point at Wilderness. So, Marla, I've done the lounge. I haven't done the walk-up quick service, but I think that, too, is probably a great idea. Somebody said the Mara. How did I forget the Mara? I was just there 2 weeks ago, and I love that stew. That stew was amazing. Paul Clark, you're right. Art of Animation Food Court. Sorry, you can tell that I'm tired tonight. All right, 2 more questions, and we'll go to 8:50, and then we'll Dole Whip or citrus. Kyle Loomis, I'm a citrus swirl guy because it's like getting milk and orange juice all in one thing. Cook's foot those not. I think you mean Cook's for those nachos. Coolest opening event I have ever attended. Oh, Marissa, probably Cars Land in California Adventure. Epcot, Cronut, or School Bread. I'm a Cronut guy. Or I will even take the lefse or the rice cream in Norway instead. Most times I went on a ride. Which one? It was the Tomorrowland Transit Authority. There were a couple times they just said, let me ride it a few times over and over again. It was probably, 5 times or so. Amanda, right? The stew at the Mara is delicious. Jessra, you're going to love Boathouse. You're going to love Boathouse. Tell them Lou sent you. Thank you. Congrats on 500. Listen, congrats to you guys on 500. You are the ones who did it. I mean it sincerely. Somebody said as I was recording the show, they're like, Lou, man, you look and sound tired. So forgive me if I sound tired on the show this week, but thank you again for 500. I don't even know how many of these we've done. I've been doing these every week since 2007. I can't do the math. 10 years, 52 weeks. I've probably done 500 of these too, right? So that's why I keep saying 500-ish. 500 is a bit of a misnomer, but I couldn't do this without you. And I do this for you, and I do this with you because I love and appreciate you. And that is not a line. That is as sincere as I can possibly be, because I mean it. And I am blessed that you share and spend your time with me, that you allow me into your home and into your ear, or however it is that you consume the content. And I don't know how else to say thank you to you. But if there's ever anything I can do to let me know, if there's anything else that you'd like to see or hear on the show, if there's any way that I can improve to make your experience and this community better, please let me know. I invite you to do me one favor, though. Share your favorite show. Share the last episode. I don't like to take out ads. I've never spent money on marketing the show. I like to grow organically, so I want you as my friend to invite your friends in because you sort of pre-vetted them. This community is as amazing as it is because of the people. It's not about the numbers. I have no desire to be the biggest community, the biggest this, the most likes, the most hearts, I hate the word fans. I don't care about that stuff, but I do want good people in there like you, and that's exactly what you guys are. Please don't forget about the Dream Team Project logo contest going on. Design your new Dream Team Project logo. You can email me, lou@wdwradio.com. Don't forget that shirts are currently on sale right now in the WDW Radio shop at WDW Radio /logo shop. Something like that. I don't know. You can tell that I'm tired. Something like that. WDW.com/logo shop. They're $14 today only. I think the sale ends today. And I want to also say huge thanks again to the members of the WDW Radio Nation. You guys and your contributions and your love and support not only help keep the lights on and keep this machine running, because it does take resources to keep all these things going, but the community and the support, and I don't just mean financial, that you have given me means so very much. And I am so, so grateful to all of you who I really do consider part of my extended family. Whether this is the first time you're watching or you've been here since day one, you are part of not just my WW Radio family, but my family as well. And I hope to see you guys again in the park soon. Stay tuned on Friday. I'll be going live probably in the morning, definitely in the evening. I hope that this is your best week ever. Go out, get yourself something to eat, and go out and celebrate 500 episodes of the show. So until next time, thanks again, everybody. See ya.
WDW Radio, your information station. WDW Radio. WDW Radio. WDW Radio.